Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com. First, order of business. No, you did not win a prize, despite what somebody in the comments might tell you that appears to be me. Today we're checking out new Lacos, a lot of them. Well, we're not going to check out a lot of them. I'm going to tell you about a lot of them. There's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 new Lacos in the store. I'm going to try to kind of give you an overview of everything by just showing you 4 of them, or else the video just gets way too long. Who is Laco? In case you don't know, Laco is basically a descendant of one of the 5 original companies that made flieger watches for the German Air Force back in World War II days. I'm probably going to forget one of them. So you've got IWC, Laco, which became Laco. It was Laco & Co. It's Laco. IWC, Laco, Stova, Wempy. This always happens to me. I always forget one of them. I'll look it up and I'll tell it to you when we flip the camera around. For my own wrist check, I am sporting on one wrist the Islander Republic. This was our Swiss-based GMT watch. If you're waiting for us to release a NH34 based GMT watch, yes, one will be coming. I would say probably around the June-ish time frame. The first of, I will say the first of many GMTs that are going to come out from the brand. And on my other wrist, well, my own sort of pilot's watch, if you will. I'm calling it a pilot's watch. It is a Breitling. This is my aerospace titanium. Sleek, lightweight, beautiful watch I always admired as a kid in the 80s, and when I was able to purchase one secondhand, I sprang on the occasion. Let's check out the Lacos, and let's be reminded of the 5th pilot watch company. I just remembered, it's Lang. I call it A. Langensohn. I know that's not how you pronounce it, but ALS just sounds too much like ALS, and I don't like to say that either. Let's check out the Lacos. Okay, so with these 3 watches, I'm going to attempt to show you 8. Actually, not more than that. I don't know. I said there were 14, and there are, but 2 of them, I guess I'm kind of not even representing. So let's just talk about them really quick. They are 39mm Swiss versions of the full Lume watches. And you can see them all. I'll link, obviously, to everything in the video description. But those are going to be far less popular, so I'm just choosing not to fully highlight them. But they are still really nice in their own right. So the first ones we're going to talk about are these gray dial fliegers, and this comprises or composes 8 of the ones we are going to discuss. And how do we get to 8? Easy. All the variations are going to be an A dial, which is your pilot's dial, no inner track of minutes. Your B dial, which has the outer track of minutes, inner track of hours. So that's 2 variations. And then we have 39mm and 42mm. There's another 2 variations. And then we have on bracelet or on leather. That's 2 times 2 times 2, 8. 8 combination. So imagine you can have this A dial in a 42mm case, on a bracelet, on a leather, whatever, and that's all 8 for you. I will start with the one in the center. And what I kind of dig about Laco is that they still, I don't know why I'm unscrewing it, it's not a screw down crown, is that they still retain all the original names. So your B dial is your Aachen. So this is your Aachen 42 gray, and then in 39 it's the Aachen 39 gray, and they change the part numbers around, you know, for stock keeping and stuff. But it all just makes perfect sense. It works well. Okay, so I guess we'll start and we'll just kind of blather from there, as you know I like to do. So this is your, this is your Aachen 42 gray, 862159. All the prices are going to be $490 on the leather, $560 on the steel. And that's it. 39, 42 doesn't matter. The prices are all the same. 42mm in diameter, which is a very common case size for them. So 42mm in diameter, 11.7 thick to a flat sapphire crystal. Scratch resistant sapphire. No AR though. 50mm come on camera, 50 millimeters on the lug to lug. For being a 42, it is a rather long watch. And for being a 42, because it's a pilot and there's no bezel, it does take on a larger appearance than other 42s will, and will wear larger, which is where I think the beauty of the 39 comes into being. It is a solid exhibition snap-down case back. It's sapphire front and back, 5 atmospheres, 50 meters of water resistance. It is a pop back. So it's not screwed down, it is a pop back if it needs to be serviced for any reason. Inside is a Miyota. I always get this wrong. I want to say 8S20, it is not. It's 82S0. It is a hand winding and hacking movement. Weighs 91 grams, 20 millimeter, nice gray leather strap. It actually is a really nice strap. I'm not a fan of the faux rivets. I mean, would it really cost that much extra to put a real rivet in the strap? So faux rivets, but a beautiful gray strap, really matches the dial, works well with it. Signed buckle. I think that's everything about the watch. So we'll bring it up nice and tight. You can see we have made in Germany on the bottom of the dial. Lacos are indeed made in Germany. Nice, beautiful diamond cut crown. Very easy to operate. It is a push-pull crown. The movement, as I said, it hand winds and hacks. There you go. Change the time. The hands are done in a beautiful outline, a little bit of a blue sheen to them. I don't know if you can see that. It might appear black, but they do have a blue sheen or blue outline to them, and they're filled with see-through luminova, and we'll go through the lume in a second. As I mentioned briefly in the beginning, this is a B dial, Beobachter Navigator Observer dial. This kind of a dial setup was more important for the person flying you from waypoint to waypoint because minutes were prominent, hours were secondary. As opposed to, and then this would be a good segue, into the pilot's dial. For a pilot's dial, just a nice clean readout. A nice clean readout of the hours is what's required. So a little bit a longer hour hand because it doesn't have to hit that inner circle. Let's set the time for you. There you go. You can see that hacking in action. This is the 39 millimeter, and now A dials in this variety they call the Augsburgs. This is an Augsburg Gray 39. So in this watch now we're looking at, instead of a 42 millimeter case, it's a 39 millimeter case. It's just about 11 and a half or 11.6 thick to that flat sapphire. And on the tip to tip is just around 3 millimeters shorter as well. It's actually 46 and a half millimeters. Same movement, same pop back exhibition case. Gray strap, we drop it 2 millimeters to be an 18 millimeter strap, still water resistant to 50 meters. Weight is very close to the same. It's a tad under what the 42 millimeter one was. And as I mentioned, the price is the same, which will bring us to, right? Yeah, so bring us to the last one. So now you can get all the watches I showed you on a bracelet. Everything about the watch is exactly the same. So the weight jumps up on the 39s to 134 millimeters. It jumps up on the 42 millimeters to 168 grams. I don't know what I just said. I'm going to say it again because I feel like I messed it up. 134 grams for the 39 millimeter. 168 grams for the 42 millimeter, mostly because obviously the bracelet is bulkier. But I'm not really a fan of a flieger on steel, but apparently there is a market for it. They have the current lineup of black dials on steel, so this kind of works. So this is the Aachen Gray 39 on a steel bracelet. It's a nice clasp. It's actually a Laco signed clasp. It's one of those 6-position micro adjust clasps. No diver clasp. We're not kamikazes here. We are just pilot's watches. Snap, snap. Fits well, obviously custom integrated right into the case. It is removable, of course, with spring bars. This is solid link, solid end link. Is it sized with screws? No, it is not. It is push pins. It actually looks like it's pin and collar, to tell you the truth. So blah on that poop. I do not like that. But everything about the watch is exactly the same. So that covers 8 of them. The 39 millimeter Swiss ones with a full lume dial I kind of spoke about. And now, if you'll just give me a moment to get the big boy out. This is ridiculous. Okay, the box doesn't even fit in shot. It's tremendous, and I'm not about to just redo everything. Whoa, tremendous wooden box. And I showed this on Instagram, and it actually is very interesting and curious. Let me just take the box out. Oh, there you go. So it's a nice wooden box, but it's a big box. So here's the watch, and here's a little booklet it comes with about Erbstück, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, bronze. And it's very, very interesting. So in case you didn't know, Laco, there's a little thing on here. Really quick, well, why the hell is it in a zip type bag like a food saver bag? Because it is bronze, it takes on patina from the atmosphere. So after they manufacture it, they put it in this vacuum sealed bag. So basically, it won't start aging until you open the bag, which is actually very interesting. Is it gimmicky? I'm not too sure. If it's sat in storage, because they're expensive, so they can sit 6 to 12 months. Maybe they'll start to take on some kind of a patina, and you may not want that. So it is kind of like fresh, born-on dating, if you will. Where was I? So the watch is about $2,000. There's 4 of them. This is a Swiss auto. There's a Swiss auto and an A dial. Then there's a Swiss hand cranker in an A dial and a Swiss hand cranker in a B dial. These are 42 millimeter. What's new about these is that these were offered in the past only in 45s. What they've done here, they combined 2 things, a bronze case and what they call this Erbstück. I don't know what it means. I probably could have looked it up, but basically it's an aged dial. And you can see, I'm gonna have my macro lens, so you can get really close. Look at that. They've artificially aged the watch. Some people say, so what? Who cares? I'd rather have a new watch. It's just really cool because the degree to which they age it looks totally, totally legit. Like 100%, like the dial and the hands. I've seen they have different levels of aging. This is basically stock aging. They have different levels where they actually go in and remove pieces of lume from the hands to look like it's cracked and stuff. Simply amazing stuff. But they are pricey, but it is definitely worth showing it to you here. Like I said, I got 4 different styles of these as well. Really cool for a collector or someone really, kind of, move my chair. Someone kind of into that stuff. Let's, well, I can't throw this on my wrist very well, can I? But we can try to do a lume through the plastic. And then why don't we do that first? I'll do lume on this guy and then lume on this guy. And then I'll try a 39 and a 42 on for you. So I think you can tell this is that Erbstück model. The bronze one, really cool. All their Swiss ones, Laco makes lower end, like these Miyota ones that you saw, and then the higher end, I hesitate to say lower end because they're still great watches, but they make these higher end with the Swiss movements like the Paderborn. And the numbers are actually loomed on the 10s and not the 5s. And I've asked a couple of people in the industry, in Laco, why that's done, and no one can really say. And I've checked out the spec on the 55 millimeter watches, the original ones, and there's not much written about that either. But okay, so let's get on to the gray guys. What is cool about the gray is that they use blue line superluminova. So no, it's not green. It's definitely blue. Let's see, see that's green, the one I just showed you. So this is blue. It's beautiful. It's superluminova. It's not BGW9. It's C1 or C3 blue line. Luminova you can get in, what's the daytime color, what's the nighttime color, and what's the grade. So it's very customizable. But this is beautiful blue line superluminova, and it looks awesome. Let's see the watch on the wrist. How's that look? Just kidding. So this is a 39 millimeter on my 6.5 inch-ish wrist. Just keep in mind, if you normally wear like a 41 diver and you feel like it's a good size, or a 42 diver and you feel like it's a good size, more than likely in a flieger, you're gonna wanna go 39. Simply because, I've said this so many times, the lack of a bezel makes the crystal bigger, and the watch just wears bigger even though it's merely a 39. If I showed this to you on my wrist without reference, you might look and say, wow, that is a 42 millimeter watch or whatever. Which is why when people buy, here I'm on the strap by the way, which is why when people buy a 45 millimeter flieger, or they say they want one, I'm like, are you sure you want one? Because a 45 is really big. A 55 is absolutely 100% tremendous and deserves to be worn on the outside of an outer garment. Okay, now here's the 42. There I am on the strap. I'm 2 holes away from home. I probably need to actually tighten in another hole, so I'm about 1 hole away from home. But you can see how much the lugs come to the end of my wrist, and then just the pie pan itself kind of extends outward. And it's just a larger watch. I do believe most of the fliegers I own are in the smaller range. But you know, going back, you know, Laco themselves only released 39mm fliegers, you know, maybe 5 years ago or so. So it's kind of a new thing that they're realizing that people just, not everybody can pull off the 42. And I think that's going to do it for us here in Laco land, looking at a whole bunch of new models. Again, it has been Mark from LongIWatch.com. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Questions, comments, concerns, anything else, feel free to leave it down below, and I'll be sure to address it as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.